master workshops at the School of Oriental and African Studies and took the 6 p.m. flight yesterday, landed at 5:30, and made it here just in time for this. I would not miss it because my original schedule was arriving on Friday. I still had commitments, but I just said I have to leave after my lecture in SOAS yesterday. My staff Cherie is there as witness, and that's the truth. And so I would like to thank the Met for hosting and housing Muhon as it comes home to the Philippines. President Tina Colaiko, thank you for your kind cooperation. And DSP Deputy Governor Maria Almasara Sintuanyo Amador. Thank you to the NCCA, which has been a very staunch partner and collaborator in all my art and culture projects, and of course the support of the Department of Foreign Affairs. But this would not be possible without the talent and brilliance of our artists, our architects, and our curators. And so, thank you very much, Andy, Sudar, JP. Thank you to the Secretariat, PAVB, whom we established in 2015. Ria is somewhere here. Oh, Ria, you're there. Yes. And to all my hardworking staff, who are legislative researchers, but turned out to be artists and curators, and they were forced to swallow and embrace my projects. They were USP and UP graduates of political science and economics and public policy, suddenly working with curators and artists. And so, all of you present here today, I think it's pretty good showing. I am very, very grateful that you're here. ANC, of course, is here covering us. And we are on Facebook Live. Because that's true. Because my colleagues were still in London, and so I wanted them to see why I was rushing out, so that it's proof also that I did not finish all of the engagements, and they see that I'm with you here today. As I speak as well, I have another project in the other side of town, the National Arts and Crafts Fair, which will run until Sunday. It's also on Facebook Live, and there we brought 200 indigenous weavers all over the country, with the Department of Trade as my partner there, and they will be there until Sunday. And Muhon will be here in December, I hope, and I hope that many of our friends from all over the Philippines would come and see Muhon. We all know that nothing is constant in this world but change. It is inevitable because we always seek to improve, to innovate, to progress. But when is it time to pause and to choose to preserve rather than to develop something new? Tonight, we will welcome these thoughts as we open the exhibit that proudly represented the Philippines in its inaugural participation at the Venice Architecture Biennale in 2016. Muhon is now home. This exhibition underscores the reality that architecture must respond to human needs. Building is not only about creating new structures all the time, it is about revitalizing communities and connecting the present with the past. Cities and its architecture, in a way, shape our personal narrative while allowing us to connect us as a community. Muhon reminds us that our appreciation of the past and the current actions we take will actually determine our future. As we go around the exhibition later, and I am excited how it fits into our space here after having seen it in the Arsenale, let us allow ourselves to be immersed in each Muhon. In the first room, as Andy would later tell us, history. Let us appreciate each Muhon's history, its grandeur or its naivete, its significance and apparent purpose, so that in the second room, modernity, we can ask if each Muhon deserves the current state that it has been put into. And finally, in the third room, conjecture, we are given the chance to accept, maybe challenge, what each artist or architect or curator thinks of how a Muhon could end up in the future. These 9 Muhons are but a few of the symbols of our built heritage in our midst. We often neglect, but are likely part of our everyday life and of who we are. This exhibition initiates a dialogue on the progress of our architecture and issues on preservation, and conservation of our built heritage. Let that dialogue ignite that spark that will transform into individual and collective action. And now that Muhon is home, we are in for a more challenging journey. As we continue to participate in the Venice Biennale, our Philippine Pavilion for the 2017 Art Biennale, the Spectre of Comparison, which is still there till November 22nd, proudly stands in the Arsenale. And we've just chosen the curator for the Philippine Pavilion for the 2018 Architecture Biennale. And I met him last week before I left for London, architect Edson Cabalfin, and his curatorial concept, the city who had two navels, the challenge of continuity remains. I've actually filed a bill in the Senate, a proposed measure that seeks to institutionalize the Philippine participation in international exhibitions of the Venice Biennale. It has already been approved at the committee level, and we hope that it will be enacted before the end of my term on June 30, 2019. So that even beyond my term as senator, we will continue to participate in the Venice Biennale. Let it not be said that when I'm no longer senator, we will also forget our arte and architecture participation in the Venice Biennale. Please, let that not happen, Ria. That is why it is also important that we bring home the exhibition that was in Venice, so that we nurture appreciation of art and culture among Filipinos, so that in time, it is already the people themselves who will urge government to give due importance to art and culture. Our participation in the Venice Biennale is one way of conversing with other nations. It is an avenue to establish contact and share our culture with the world. Art is a form of cultural diplomacy, which is a soft opener to our political and economic initiatives with other nations. With that, I thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you. Congratulations to the team behind Muhon. Our curators, once again, palakpakan, Andy Roxien, Sula Franklin, J.P. Cruz, and our participating artists and architects, Paklong Anadin, Tad Enitano, Mark Salvatis, Eduardo Atay, George Nilo, A.A. Design Studio, CS Design Consultants, Lima Architecture, and last but not least, Manyosa and Let Muhon fill you with the motivation to preserve the heritage that rightly belongs to the people. I never imagined this day would come in 2012 or 13 when I asked the question, why are we not in the Venice Biennale? I was met with blank stares by colleagues in government. But since then, we brought you to Palazzo Mora in 2015 to the Art Biennale, and there were skeptics who said, isang taon lang yan, lingas-kugon, hindi matutuloy. I took it as a challenge. I brought the Philippines to the Architecture Biennale, and they said, isa lang yan, hindi na kaya, after 1 year each. No, we have the specter of comparison. It's an wala na yan, after 3 years, meron na naman ang pangalawang Architecture Biennale. But this would not happen. This vision would not come to fruition were it not for the painstaking effort and support. I'm almost like a slave driver. It's Ria, the NCCA team, and the PAVB Secretariat, my legislative researchers who have suddenly become artists and curators, and the NCCA and the Department of Foreign Affairs, and of course, the support of the Filipino people. And so, thank you very much. Congratulations.